Right, morning everyone. It's us two again, the two Pete's on again. We've just been in Derek's. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I had to get a cup of tea.
Yeah, same. Cheers.
Right. So, crunching away here. Let me first share the link to the Just Giving page.
Lovely.
So, organised as ever. Hi, Ali. So this is what it's all about. It's an amazing total at the moment of just over 5,000. Hi, Pete. Got another Pete in. Always good to see Pete's. And so I think the new target is 5,500. Hopefully by the end of the day it will get there.
Hopefully, yeah.
Going along nicely. So I have just grabbed together a load of toys, records, and books from around my house. Ooh. So what I thought I'd do, and I've also got some songs on YouTube. So I thought I'd just, hi Kelly, just say to the chat, do you want, you've got a choice here. I can choose a game or a toy. It can be electronical. I could choose like a book type thing, or I could pull out a record, or we could have something from a little song from YouTube. So you let me know what you want to see. But I'm going to start off with everybody's favourite, and Derek brought some of this, and it's Lego. Okay. So Lego, if you were growing up in the 70s, records. Next one, okay, I'll do record next. Lego in the 70s was very much like bricks. That's all you had. Nowadays, you can get any weird shape you want. But if you were talking about Lego figures, you were talking about this sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember these? And this? And like they had great features, like you could turn the hair around and it would make I can't even get this off, but it would make it slightly different. You know, and I've got the mum and the dad. So there we go. The dad and the son, rather. So look, that's the same hairpiece, but on the other way. What happened in the 80s? Can you guess what happened in the 80s to Lego figures? Actually 79, but throughout the 80s, Lego brought out the minifigure. 79.
Yeah, they did.
And I was into this in a big way. So here's so Firemen and Police, which are now called City Range, I think, but that is a very early Fireman. But the ones I absolutely loved, and it's probably due to like Star Wars, and I hadn't even heard of spaceships, when I was a kid, but it would be the space series. So I've got together a whole load of stuff here of original vintage spaceships. And I mean, it's difficult to explain really when you look at like here's a set. I think this is from early 80s, and it would have been one of my original ones. But when you look at that, not much to it when you compare with a set these days. It's all like pretty much grey pieces. I think originally it would have had a transfer on here. I don't think I can find the piece. But to like a 10-year-old kid, you got something like, I don't know, these bits here, which look like nothing, but they're laser guns. Oh, Derek's in. I'll just add him in.
Oh, okay.
You've got something like that, like just a simple bit of Lego. Hi, Derek. Just a couple of jet pieces on the bottom, but again, to like a 10-year-old, you're just like,
amazing.
This is amazing. You've got like a 3 jet piece here. That is that's a multi-directional jet. And then you'd have something like this, and like this bit here, which wasn't normal, isn't just a brick or a plate. And not only that, it's got a green see-through bit. And like I say, any kind of clear bits you've got, these transparent bits, those were amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, Lego Space I think began in sort of 79, would have been probably influenced by Star Wars and all that sort of thing. And I don't know if they still release Lego Space. It did go on into the 90s. Also, early minifigure stuff. They had like the Lego Castle, and I remember the big castle that they brought out in the 80s, which was like a yellow castle. I don't know why they made it yellow. I think later on they had grey ones, like into the 90s.
Oh yeah, the grey. I remember the grey ones. Yeah.
But I just remember that was like the big set you could get was a big yellow castle. Now someone spotted, what are those pig head ones, Kelly? These are, and again these were brought out back end 79, I think. But this is Fabuland. So
Wow.
that is very 80s. Now I didn't buy this. This is sort of stuff that Lego Space is mine. But this was very much aimed to like preschool and stuff like that. And lovely little figures. But I think they had some sort of, human type ones, but mainly animal types. A bit scary, isn't it? It's a bit Clockwork Orange. But yeah, Farmyard, Fabuland, animals. And of course, Lego originally sort of like came from Denmark, and it's been going since the 30s. And yeah, I think these original figures are kind of early mid 70s. But that's the sort of stuff I inherited. Like I got all my Lego from like my older cousins, who are probably about 10 years older. And got loads of this stuff, which is pretty rubbish to play with. So, look at these hands.
I remember Lego like that.
Yeah,
at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think I would have been about 7 or 8, and suddenly finding you could get, a minifigure.
Yeah.
It could walk and you could pose it. That was
amazing. Yeah, you could do different things.
Yeah. They had stuff like this before, which came out, some of this, which is just like, it's a little kind of pre-runner to a minifigure, I think, because it's got like a minifigure head. But they came with these sets, and it would be like a baby, and that was like the baby in the set. But no, it's just weird looking back. And this plate here, this is a Lego Space.
Oh yeah, I remember all them too well. Yeah,
beautiful thing.
Yeah,
a beautiful thing. Right, we got any requests for what we want to see? Now,
it looks like Nick's in the green room.
Yeah, Nick's here.
Yeah.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
So, Fabuland. Yeah, I've got one of those. I've got some of those cars as well.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant.
Some good money in the Fabuland stuff.
Yeah, that'll be my next thing, because I was saying on Derek's stream that I've done my friends. I'm so glad a little chunk has gone away from, and I could work on Fabuland next.
Yeah, I'm glad you did well with the friends. That little spaceship you showed, I had something, if not identical, it was so much like that. Oh my goodness.
You just, I mean, it's things like this for an 8-year-old. That piece, you are on a computer. You are in space.
Yeah.
You are just with it,
I loved it back then. The minifigures, they all had the same expression. There was basically one standard little smile, 2 dot eyes, and
we said to come on.
You had yellow, red, blue, and white space figures, and black, I think, as well.
That is it, and no two faces on either side, no one on this and one on this side. So, I mean, when you look at the figures now, there's so much to them, but it is so simple. But your imagination used to just run away with you.
The 80s, they started to sort of branch out. Like you said, they did Castle, which was huge for them, and Police, and then they started to slowly branch out from that. But one of my first ever Lego sets was just an aeroplane, and it was just bricks, and then flat wings, and some of the bricks were special pieces because they had little windows printed on that. So that was the whole thing.
Well, you used to get those red windows that are surrounded by red plastic, and I remember if you used to want to make a roof out of Lego, you used to be. Put tons of like.
You never had enough.
You never had enough.
There's never enough of those like triangular bits to cap it off. There's always half finished. Yeah.
Right. Let's pick out some records then. I'll pick out. What should we? Let's pick out one of these. Okay. Now 6. So that is what we got on here. Kicks off with One Vision by Queen. A Good Heart, Fergal Sharkey, which was in the quiz the other day. Oh, UB40, Kate Bush running up that hill. First Now, I remember the Now album coming out, and their logo was a big pig.
Yeah, I had my first one was Now 4, and they were still using the pig on the front, and I think that was the last one where the pig was the logo. They soon dropped that.
Yeah, it's weird choice of logo. My first one was Now 2 on cassette, and I've still got it somewhere. That adds What Difference Does It Make by the Smiths on, and oh god, it's just like it's weird the mix that it's got on, because there's pop, there's bits of sort of poppy reggae, and then you get some indie type, bits on there.
They used to lump them together. So I remember through the 90s, it would be the big pop hits on the first one, and then you kind of mix of indie, and they threw in a few rock bits. And the second CD, as it would have been in the 90s, was always a weird blend of stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't know quite what to do with it, and they just chucked it all on the second side quite often.
What else we got? I've just been rummaging through my record collection. So there's Complete Madness.
Wow.
Probably circa 82. And again, that was one of the first albums I bought. I think they've had a
Trousers.
few.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all on here, and I used
imagine
to pour over this back, because I've got all these sort of 7 inches as well, and it's something like pour over this, because it's you can see the actual pictures of it.
Well, I had a similar experience.
And then inside they've just got all this like nutty memorabilia.
When I first got, obviously, DM on cassette, and they printed off all of the 7-inch pictures, and I was a complete collector of everything then. So I made it my mission to track down all of these singles, and that's what started me being a record collector, was that record.
I think the thing with this is I had all of them, apart from the only one that annoyed me a bit. I think it was one of them I had on picture disc, so I didn't have the cover. So I was just like, you used to get
little things like that.
Little things like that, really, really annoying.
And I remember I briefly started collecting the Stranglers stuff as well.
Yeah.
But there was so much of it. They were prolific.
Here's another. This is a sort of early Def Jam, 1985 Def Jam album. It's LL Cool J's first album.
Oh wow!
Now, Derek, I bet you wouldn't mind picking up a boombox like that. That is cool boombox.
That's quite cool.
That'll be worth. It's got shortwave on it as well, which is it's got like 6 shortwave bands.
Looks like a bit like that one I've got at the back.
Yeah, that would have weighed a ton.
But this has got I Can't Live Without My Radio.
A little Cool J, wow.
And Rock the Bells, which is a blinding song.
So with the bucket hat on,
with the
bucket,
I think it was in the Kangol. Was it Kangol hats?
Only 36 C-size batteries. Plug in your car battery to it.
Exactly. Yeah, lights start dimming when you start putting that on. But there's a few records. Right, what do I do next? So I could pick up some more toys.
It was fascinating watching yours, Derek, and it's almost like, within reason, anything from that era, if it's in good condition, will have a market, because, like you said, people are setting up houses, 80s themed houses.
Yeah, things like those telephones and the kitchens. I find kitchen stuff sells really well.
I'll bring this in. So, this is a Grandstand. Now, I think Grandstand made a Video Master, which is like one you plugged into your telly, which was like a Pong variant.
Yeah.
But when you started getting these, I had Galaxy Invaders 1000, and I remember buying it, which was a yellow handheld thing. But they're all pretty similar. All these handhelds.
Do you remember one called I think it was Caveman?
I don't remember that. I remember Mini Munchman was a huge one in the early 80s.
It was a Pac-Man clone. It was just a rip-off.
Pac-Man clone.
Yeah.
But all the Game & Watch, like I had Snoopy Tennis and I had Donkey Kong 2. But this, I think it's the fact that it's a bit like an arcade. So you can actually
I think my brother had one of them back in the day. And
I
I've sold a couple of them.
I had a bright yellow one. I think it was called Astro Wars. It wasn't a little cabinet one. It was more of a flat one, but it had the little joystick.
Yeah.
And I played that thing to death. That must have been, I think I was about 10. So we're talking about 83. I got that.
But
I had one called
I'd love to
BMX
play those.
Burner.
Oh, BMX Burner, or BMX. I remember playing a
There
BMX
was
one.
Flyer BMX as well.
Yeah.
That was my brother's, and I got BMX Burner, which was basically a very similar sort of thing.
I'll tell you what I never had but really wanted was one of the Tomitronics.
Yeah, like a 3D thing.
Yeah, I think there was 4 or 5 models, and everyone seemed to have them sort of mid-80s, and I never got my hands on one. I've had loads since to resell, and always, had a good play for an hour or two. But
I think what I love about these is, I mean, when I got this, I played. Unfortunately, it broke when I played it. But playing anything like this, the colours are so bright. It's like I don't know how they do it, but it's not like playing a DS or something, which is like LCD. These colours like shine out at you, and they're absolutely amazing. But,
I guess it's some sort of magnification as well from
yeah,
the
I
screen,
think there's a bit, but I think the whole thing is like, I don't know, some sort of bulb in there that is so nice.
They're kind of backlit somehow in a way. I don't know what the technology is, but
it's like the old calculators. You got some old Commodore calculators that had lit up LCD displays. I've had a few of them before.
Yeah,
same technology, I guess.
Right, here's something else. If anyone knows what this game is, so I'm going to bring out like an accessory from it first, and then I'll bring out
somebody's
some
at the
figures.
door.
Okay.
There's somebody at the door. Oh yes, that's a 20-sided dice.
That is a 20-sided dice. That is a 10-sided dice.
Right.
So this is all to do with
D&D. You're going to go D&D.
D&D. So
yes, yeah.
And these are all
D&D.
My original ones. They're a bit beaten up, but I mean, it's quite bizarre that you could go and buy things made of lead, and you know, I used to paint these, so I was handling them all the time, and probably like touching my mouth and chewing them. Oh. And I probably had mild kind of lead poisoning from the age of from 9 till, I don't know, 12. But these came out, I think D&D originally came out again. So much of my stuff is sort of late 70s, early 80s. I think 79 was when it originally came out, obviously in America. And I got into it. I remember when E.T. came out, which I think was probably around 82. There's a scene in there where they're in the kitchen and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. So there was this whole thing of like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons, get the figures.
Did you watch Stranger Things?
I don't know. I'll have to watch that.
There's a lot of reference to it, and a lot of things will trigger memories. And it's a brilliant show anyway, but it is well worth watching. And there's a lot of reference to D&D and stuff in it. You'd love it.
I'll have to watch it. But the weird thing about D&D was it seemed like a fantastic thing to do. Like, you know, create your own adventure. And I remember buying those books by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. I think it was the Warlock of the Firetop Mountain and Citadel of Doom, I think it was, and Citadel of Chaos and Forest of Doom. But if you actually played the game, it was very, very complicated. I mean, I remember like going through those rule books and going, oh my God. And then I think I actually tried to have a couple of games with my mates and nobody knew what they were doing, because there was supposed to be this dungeon master who guided you through. But we were just like, oh, I'll roll again if I die. Just like completely cheating on it. But
it was the ultimate in geekdom.
It was. It was kind of like you liked it, but then you kind of realised it was really geeky. So you didn't talk. I mean, I'm only just sort of like admitting this now after 30 years that I actually had D&D. And I'm doing it on the internet, so I don't quite know what I'm doing there.
Hello.
Hi, Andrew. How you doing?
I couldn't resist. She comes in and goes, "Are you on again? People will be sick of you."
Yeah,
he said the words vinyl records, and I thought, I've got to go on.
Well, let's see if I can pick another couple of vinyls.
No problem.
Okay, so I've got 3 more here. Can you name it by the cover? That's a tricky one. Very tricky.
Oh my word! Is that Runrig?
No.
Level 42.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I've already seen De La Soul before you even get to the other one.
Yeah, De La Soul. I'll go through them. That's a tricky one as well.
Oh my! I don't recognise that. Is that a print?
Yeah, Prince and the Revolution, Raspberry Beret.
That's
Oh,
nice.
wow,
Look
that's
at that.
lovely.
Ooh.
I've got.
Now that record in your hand, that takes me to a certain place. I mean, that was huge. So we're talking
1989.
89, yeah.
Let me
Say
dig
No
through.
Go and
That is a fantastic album.
Three is the Magic Number. They were massive that year, weren't they? Absolutely
Here's a
everywhere.
good one. Who released this? Who's the person?
Job talking.
It's a Bee Gees song.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Bee Gees, but it's not then.
It was George Michael's brother, I think,
Oh,
released this,
really?
but he used George Michael's vocals.
George, was that your brother?
But what else we got? These prints, these couple of prints ones are classics. So that is extended version of Kiss, and that's Mountains off the Parade album.
Yeah.
Ooh, they're nice.
That's one of my favourite Prince albums.
Yeah, come in.
Absolutely fantastic, and that's When Doves Cry, 12-inch.
Wow. There's nothing quite like a 12-inch single. I never had many back
amazing.
in the 80s.
I think I'd rather look at that than play it. So it's weird. And then, I mean,
here we go. I know I've showed these before, but the lengths they went to on some of the 12 inches when you get into gatefold stuff, I mean, it's just gorgeous. Look at that, the artwork.
This is original Hatful of Hollow that Rough Trade, I think, released.
Oh, wow.
And when it was re-released, this picture took up the whole of the cover. So
you
can tell this is an original one. But again, it's a gatefold with a picture of them inside. And these Smiths covers, I mean, they were known for sort of taking old 50s or 60s stars and soap stars and just people so iconic. So that's Pat Phoenix, who played Elsie Tanner in Coronation Street.
I don't know if you agree, Pete, but I think the experience of having physical media back then was a big part of it. And you would sit on the floor in my bedroom. My record player was down low, and just pour over all of these details, the lyrics, all of that, all the people that were credited. You just stare at the artwork for the whole hour or so. You listen to the entire record.
Well, I did it with my mum and dad. Exactly. My mum and dad, they had the Beatles double album, the red album. You know, you get the red and blue.
Red and blue.
Again, I'd pour over the lyrics and, absolutely fantastic. Right. So what should we do next? I've got some songs lined up on YouTube, but I think I'll leave those and just sort of carry on going through some of my rubbish. So I've got this, which is this is not some of my old stuff. This is actually stuff I picked up. It's a Cabbage Patch.
Is it?
It's a Cabbage Patch.
Wow.
Cabbage Patch dolls were bigger than that.
I know. I don't quite understand it. They did do little size, like 5-inch ones, but I mean, I was never really into Cabbage Patch at all.
Well, did you have sisters? Did you have sisters, Pete?
No, just one brother.
Right. Well, you see, I had 3 sisters, so my house was full of ponies, keepers, Cabbage Patch dolls, the whole works. You know what I mean? I saw it all.
Care Bears and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
What I was into was a kind of takeoff of Cabbage Patch, which was these guys.
Oh my God!
I remember them. I mentioned those.
Garbage Pail.
I mentioned those in Kelly's stream.
So I've got a whole stack of them.
Okay, we'll just look at them for an hour.
I've just got these out of the drawer, and some of them have just got ruined because they got printer ink over them. But I don't know if we've got a nick here. Let's have a look.
You could build a massive garbage picture with the backs.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Honestly, this is my childhood.
Messy Tessie there.
You have to make yourself bigger. I can't see him.
Oh, okay. That's.
Yeah, say in the chat if you remember these. I had so many of these cards. Oh yeah, Farrah Fossil. Oh, they're so cool. And you have the A and the B cards.
Yeah, the A and the B, different names.
I remember all of these so well. Charlotte Webb, yeah.
But they are worth money if you see them around.
I've had them a few times and I regret selling them. I had some not even that long ago, and you just get into the routine of reselling and then you think, I should have kept them.
Some of them are really disgusting.
And I believe it was all done by the same artist. They may have ended up with a team, but I think certainly originally it was all the same artist.
He was Adam Bomb was the other
Right.
him, Adam Bomb. Hunted Hunter. It's pretty gruesome.
Oh, they were so next level gruesome. Some of them.
Trish Squish being put in a compactor.
Oh. They did so many series, and I think it's still going in a weird way. I think there's so many series. Look at that,
Willy Wife. It's just it really appeals to my kind of sense of humour. It's Marty Gras cross-dresser.
Oh dear!
Wow.
Oh dear, what else we got?
Oh.
I've got someone who's been like gunned down there, blasted. Bullseye Barry.
Yeah, they were brilliant. That's so Playground.
This is oh, it is.
I'm getting memories of Playground and Swapsies and all of that. Heidi,
okay. Right.
But do you know the weird thing about kind of cards and stuff? And I've got some more cards here. My kids collected Match Attacks.
Right.
I just said, "Oh, let's have a look at them," and they didn't really. It wasn't a big thing to swap them as much. Now I've still got the skill. I can get a pack of cards like this, and I could look at them. And you used to sit in the playground and go, got,
yeah,
and do it so quick. I'm doing it now, really quick. And my son was doing it, and he was like all over the place, dropping it. I was going, "Why can't you do that? Why can't you go got need?
I can do it. Yeah,
got, need." You know,
Pete, was it Panini as well, football or not?
Oh yeah, Panini. So here, 85,
oh wow, ooh, lovely.
86 and 87.
86,
I was thinking about this. I was looking at this. I was thinking, well, hang on, I was quite old when I had these, but I was obviously really into my football. Now this one of these is a complete set, apart from, and here's the tragic tale. There's so many perms in here. You know, when you got towards the end and you could write to Panini, so you'd write off and say, I need numbers. This, that. I did that, and they sent me all the cards, apart from they got one wrong. I think it was Leicester. Let's have a look.
I think it was 86 was the year I got really into it. This is taking me back. You got the shiny badge ones. Were they the years where they had the shiny badge? The club badge. Oh yes.
Yeah, they normally had a shiny in a team. It was always shiny in a team. But they sent me like instead of like one that I needed, it was the next one along. They obviously misread my writing, so I was still stuck with one to have.
Classic.
Oh, get yourself on that eBay place. They might have one on there.
Well, maybe. But there we go. Look, Peter Shilton's in there. So many of them have got perms.
Oh, wow. And they did the lower teams as smaller.
The Scottish teams. Yeah.
Oh, you got Scottish.
Oh, there you go. Were they half cards? I can't remember.
You got them on one card, and they were kind of split down the middle.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is. Thanks for that. Wow. That's really taken me back.
But Panini, I think, and they do like things like that, like a cartoon thing.
Yeah.
And just little features. But they also did like Disney films. I remember getting the Rescuers one, and various other sort of Disney films. But it was always the football ones that I loved. Got a victory.
Yeah, they're definitely football, yeah.
Like these ones where it was a shape sticker. So this is a shape sticker.
And
they never quite matched.
Yeah. You had to kind of line up. And once you'd start, that's it. You were going. That was it. You couldn't really reposition.
But Andy Gray there. But they're a bit tatty. But
are they your original ones?
They're my original ones.
Yeah. Wow.
And I mean, I've written on this one. You know, just at the top there, the ones I needed.
Yeah.
So 4, 13, 15, 16. And there's some, I don't know what that is. Man U, Sheffield, Chelsea, Watford, QPR. It's, there's all sorts
Chelsea, good.
All sorts of scribbles on here. But Panini, I think, were the first guys who were doing, because back in the day, you used to do cardboard cards.
Well, the top card, the gum cards were big. And
Yeah.
that was mainly Tops that were doing those. And you had the ET card set, I remember quite vividly, I think, and Turtles and
Yeah, I remember
Panini.
the Turtles ones. I was quite heavily into the Turtles at the time, but I think that was early 90s maybe. But
there's been loads of different ranges of Turtles cards. So yeah, I think we could probably all remember different ranges and different times.
Those stickers, though, I think I remember them costing about 10p a packet or 12p a packet. And I remember when they got to about 20 or 30p, and me thinking, oh my God, that's almost like 3p a sticker.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And when you look at them now, like Pokemon cards or
That's what I was
anything
gonna
like that,
Oh yeah, I collected so many of them.
it's like
Popping them
a
at
pound.
schools,
I
yeah.
don't know myself, but it's like a ridiculous amount of money. It's like a pound
Yeah,
a
it
card
is now.
or something ridiculous.
I think when we were last stocking them when we had a shop, and that's going back a fair bit now, but I think we were doing them £3.50 a pack of 10.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Right, what we got next?
Yeah, depends which set you get though. They can be quite expensive.
Right, I've got a couple of electronic things. And again, this could be kind of late 70s.
Ooh.
But and I had one of these, and I was talking.
He's got his Woody out.
Got my Woody out, yeah, 2600.
And the 6-switch one as well.
I know, 6-switch. Some games. It doesn't work though. It powers up, but I think one of the chips has gone on it because I'm just getting like lots of coloured stuff. But I had one of these originally, and I was saying the other day, we play something like Combat, which is if you ever see it now, you kind of think, how on earth would you like that game? But you are in a war with your brother, trying to shoot him from using a rebound off the screen, and if you beat him, I think it was first to 10 or something. It's absolutely amazing. And there's sort of like different versions of it, but the only difference is they put some barriers in the way. But I picked this up, and of course I was thinking, I wonder if I've got a hard hat in here, or what was it called? Hard hat?
Hard head.
Hard head. That'd be nice.
Have a look.
Unfortunately not. So I had this one when I was a kid, Asteroids.
Oh, I love that game. That's such a good game.
And the trick to this is don't move your spaceship, because as soon as you start moving and drifting off the screen, you've just lost all control.
We went up to the Stranger Things experience, and they had an arcade, because you've got to watch Stranger Things, because honestly, Pete, you'll love it.
I'll give it a look.
And there's a big computer games is a big part of it, and the arcade is where a lot of the plot line kind of revolves around some of the arcade. And they built an arcade at this experience, and I was in there playing Asteroids, a vintage 80s Asteroids. It's brilliant.
Right, we've got some music related stuff now. I've got some ticket stubs. Now I'll put me on big so you can see it a bit better. Which one am I doing? That one. There we go. So the first one is this one, which is the Happy Monday, so late 80s.
Wow.
It's a bit worse for wear.
Oh, the Town and Country Club. Love it. Been there.
The Town and Country Club. So have a look at that date, okay? 25th of November.
Yeah.
And I remember that gig because there was a guy. We went up there and we actually got lost on the way back. And I drove up there, so I think I was about 17 or 18 at the time. One of the first times I've driven through London to get to Kentish Town, which is North London. I'm in near Croydon.
Yeah.
And on the way back, we got completely lost and got to Trafalgar Square and just drove around Trafalgar Square again and again. And we were trying to see our night bus because we knew what a night bus it was, and we were going to follow the night bus back to like Sutton. But we got home eventually. But there was a guy at the gig, and he was just shouting out. He was going, "Oh, rope for luck," and then F off. And that's all he kept saying. And then when they did rope for luck, he went, "Right, F off." It was the most bizarre thing. But yeah. I had a week of going to sort of Manchester gigs. I also went to Inspiral Carpets in that week. And a week before this one, on the Saturday, went to this one.
Oh,
which was a bonkers gig. I remember being absolutely knackered because I had a Saturday job and I had to rush up to Morden Station and it was a pig of a place to get to, Ali Pali. You could sort of come out of the tube station and then have a walk up a hill, and
Yeah, it's
They-
stuck on the hill.
it's stuck on a hill.
Place.
And they didn't come on for ages and ages and ages.
Yeah.
But you know, as soon as they started playing She Bangs the Drums, all hell broke loose, and it was just like, I mean, normally at a gig you'd have like a mosh pit at the front where it's a bit mad, but you can get out of it. The whole of Ali Pali was absolutely heaving.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The last one I got I could find for you is because this was my first gig I think on my own, which I don't know if you can see that.
Can't read it.
No,
Prince.
probably.
Wow, Wembley.
Look at that. Look at the price. £14.50.
Wow.
English. Oh,
Probably-
cool.
Probably about 150
Yeah.
at least to sort
I was
of.
going to say you could add 100 to that now.
I know.
Mhm.
I mean, I think these were like £8 or something ridiculous.
Wow.
But that was my first gig. Just went up with a mate of mine, you know, both heavily into Prince, and you know, he comes on in a car and you know starts playing basketball. He does do his songs, but that was absolutely amazing. So they were my first gigs. I got one of these. We were talking about these earlier.
The rubber keys. Nice.
Rubber keys.
I've had many of those before.
I know this is starting to go, but I've not powered this up because I haven't got a power supply for it. So we'll have to see if that works. But that's what I did all my kind of games on was all.
I never had one like that back in the day, but I've had many since. But I remember buying them at the very first car boot sales I sold at. I think it was like 96, 97. That was the first start of my reselling.
Yeah,
I used to buy those, maybe like 3 or 4 of them every week from a house clearance guy. And they were always there, various conditions. I used to pick them up and sell them for like £10. I used to buy them for £1. And that was sort of the very first sort of reselling sort of thing for me.
I mean,
when I was like 16.
There are different versions of this and different sort of motherboards and electronics inside, and some of them are worth a lot of money.
Yeah, I've got vivid memories of a friend having that exact rubber keys one, and we'd play. Oh my goodness, it's just gone from my Chucky Egg 2.
Chucky Egg 2, yeah.
I love that.
On that, and then when I got one, I got the hard keys version, the 48K Plus. I was like, yeah, I've got the Plus. Check me out with my hard keys.
This was the one to have, definitely.
I did prefer that. The rubber keys are so nice to play on it. You know, it doesn't hurt your fingers so much.
Well, originally, I think they came out in a 16K version.
The doorstop. Hard little doorstop, yeah.
I've never seen that. And then before that, it was a ZX81. My brother had a ZX81. So, that's why we got into Sinclair. And
maybe that's what I'm thinking of, the hard one. And it had just a hard panel and hard.
Yeah, just a hard panel. That's the ZX81. And before that, there was a ZX80, which I've never seen a ZX80.
Yeah, it's like a white one, isn't it?
I think so. I think it is a white one.
Yeah,
and I think
I did have one back in the day. From not when they were first released at car boot sales. I used to buy a lot of this sort of thing at car boot sales. At the very first car boot sale I went to, use them and then sell them again at the car boot sale. But
I just like having sort of one of each thing, and I've got a console here, so I've got like that Atari. I wish I could get it working. That would be fabulous.
It used to be, wasn't it? Load quote. Was that the thing? Why have I got load?
When you load a game. So
I think it was like, didn't you press something with J, Shift and J or something like that to get it to come up with load, something like that. Yeah.
There's about, when you look at that keyboard and look at, I'll make myself big again.
Well, it's got all the commands written on it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It will have, yeah.
So there's about 4 things you can do with each key that focuses.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But you got to be so careful with that metal cover because the paint scratches so easily on those now.
So if you're programming and you want to do a sound, you somehow have to get this beep command. And
beep, you could beep, and then a set of numbers. I remember messing about with the beep.
And poke, print and poke. There we go. Print. So if you want to put print 10 print Peter 20 go to 10, you need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
And these graphics, you used to get these, be able to produce these graphic characters, which were how you did like, if you wanted to make a little Jet Set thing, you'd build him up through these graphics characters.
I did a lot of that back in the day.
Well, I did bits of machine. I had a book on machine code, rather than just basic, because we were all taught basic programming at school, and had to do that, and like go subs returns and all that sort of thing. But I remember buying a book on Spectrum machine code, and it was basically you just put in loads and loads of numbers, and you get to know all your hexadecimal stuff, and it was like I'd never made it as a programmer. So there you go.
I did all that at university.
Yeah. Next one is this, which I think is it's probably more 90s.
Yeah, Dreamcast.
Late 90s.
Yeah,
late. Yeah.
So not exactly 80s, but I couldn't quite remember when it was out. So there you go. This one. Does anyone remember this?
A trapdoor.
Don't you open that trap door.
I used to have the computer game of that as well. That was really good.
Spectrum. Because it looked like the actual TV series, which was
the character was so big as well.
Yeah,
I think it was one of the few games where the character was so big that you walked around on the screen. It was usually like little characters, like minor type characters.
And the skull was big as well, the little skull. But that's on VHS. That was, I think it was Willie Rushton who narrated.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Willie Rushton. Yeah. Right, what else we got? God, there's so much junk. I'll tell you, I've tried to have a tidy up, and then I got all this out. I was like, oh, Jesus.
I think I'm going to have to head off, guys. So.
All right, Derek, no worries.
I shall catch you.
Take care, Derek, mate.
Catch you all later.
Cheers, Derek.
Bye.
Right. Now, you can get they have reissued these. I saw them in a toy shop the other day, but these are original, and I haven't got the full set. It's horror Top Trumps.
Oh, Top Trumps, nice.
Do you remember the horror ones?
Yeah, I had aeroplanes and motorbikes and cars mostly.
I think my two favourite sets were the horror ones, and I think there were two versions of the horror ones, and also they did a Marvel superheroes ones.
Right,
but
there were so many.
That was the worst card, the Vampire Bat. It's like physical strength 45 is never going to get you anywhere. And this is probably one of the best all-rounder cards. That's Zeton Warlord.
Wow.
But you had King Kong in there, which was the best on the physical strength. I don't know if I've got him. And you had Dracula, which had the best horror rating. Oh, there's King Kong. There he is.
I tell you, one set I had was Dragsters, which was so big in the 80s with massive back wheels and tiny little weenie front wheels. Yeah. Wow.
Right. What else have I got? I've got so much stuff. I've got some more records. Got some 7-inch records. Some of this. So I don't quite know why we've got that.
Oh, Roland Rat Superstar. Oh dear.
It must have been my brother. I'll blame him.
What was his mate? Was it Kevin?
Kevin the Gerbil.
Kevin the Gerbil.
You have to be perhaps I shouldn't show this. I might get a Vero.
Right.
Yeah, you're not allowed to sell Shaking Steve stuff on eBay.
That
was my mum's. Someone ended up more madness again. Like these covers, loads and loads of madness. And Howard Jones.
Yeah, I've seen him live a couple of times.
Yeah, he does a lot of the 80s tour. Things can only get better.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew loves him.
I've got so many sort of like 7 inches from that era, though. Oh, here's a good one as well. If you remember that. Do you remember Brown Sauce? Which was the theme tune. It was a band. So it's Keith Chegwin, Maggie Philbin, and Noel Edmonds on drums.
Oh.
And they did a song called I Just Want to Be a Winner. So who was mentioning the swap shop number in Derek's? Could have been Stu Mandry or Pete. Retros.
18055.
Yeah. 8055, which was plastered on the front of the counter, wasn't it?
And they had their little mascot was Posh Paws, which is swap shop backwards. Not really swap shop backwards, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, I've got a couple more things I will show.
Let's see if I can find any picture sleeve.
I've got so much stuff here. I keep thinking I'm going to miss something.
Tottenham Hotspur FA Cup final squad 81.
Oh wow.
Aussie's Dream.
Aussie's Dream, yeah.
It's weird, those songs. Yeah, some of them you remember, but some of them you just the football ones.
It's a shame I don't make them much like that anymore.
What year was this? George Michael, different corner.
Oh, is it like last year? I know it now.
I think that's the one that you messed up on.
Yeah, I messed up. I really thought it was late George Michael. Indy's saying I would never have admitted to buying that single. Which one? The swap shop one. Did you see all the Smiths albums earlier, Indy?
You showed Hatful of Hollow, I think.
Because I know first time I spotted Indy because her little icon, it's Youtha Joyce out of George and Mildred, but it's a Smiths cover. So I remember spotting that. But I was saying, Indy, this is original Hatful of Hollow with the border around it. So when it was re-released, probably in the late 80s, it would have been re-released. This image took up the whole cover. So yeah, there we go.
This is actually 70s, but this, how cool is that? Cool on the game, but it's a double 7-inch gatefold.
That's nice.
Don't see many of those.
That is nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Right. I'll do a board game and then. So I was looking at like old board games and just board games from the 80s. Again, early 80s. You had stuff like Downfall and this Stay Alive.
Yeah.
And they are just absolutely fantastic games.
Well, they were built to last.
Yeah.
And we used and abused them. Interestingly, that was one that I never had back in the day, but I've picked that up a number of times since reselling, obviously.
Yeah, and so appropriate to sell at the moment because that's what we're all trying to do. So,
indeed, we are, yep.
But yeah, definitely one of those, probably not going to have all the marbles if you get it. Okay, just a couple more. This is a DVD set, but it's of a TV series that was on in the early 80s, which I absolutely loved. And does anybody remember Monkey?
Oh, yes. Oh, my word. Yeah.
So I've got the theme tune to Monkey, which is a bit bonkers. So I'm going to see if I can
might
share
have heard the theme tune, but yeah.
All right, I'll play it for you, Pete. Hang on.
All right.
I might whiz it on a bit. So
Pigsy.
Yeah, hang on. Let me stop that share. It's the first time I've done this, so it's.
Oh, right.
But let me put it on full. Is this a blind leading the blind here? Hang on. Okay, share audio. Chrome tab. But it went on, each series or each episode went on for about an hour, but it was absolutely nuts.
In the worlds before Monkey, primal chaos reigned.
I just loved all this.
Heaven sought order, but the phoenix can fly only when its feathers are grown.
The theme tune, once it gets going, is so funky. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, this used to come on just before our swimming lessons.
Yeah, it was kind of after dinner, BBC Two.
Yeah.
But it's weird because the Buddhist priest, who was supposed to be like a boy or a man, was actually played by a woman. And it's an old Chinese, I think it's like a 16th century Chinese novel. But it was all done by a Japanese TV company. So, I think it's around 82 this was shown. Here we go. It's really violent as well.
Yeah, it seems it, yeah.
Oh my word.
But they had this, and there was also a series called The Water Margin, but I'd never seen that one. I saw this one. Pigsy, Sandy, Tripitaka.
So let's get going.
we'd all be doing that in the playground at school.
Yeah, and you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Oh, the faces! It's like yesterday.
It's amazing.
What was that all about?
He made a pink cloud.
Wow.
Oh, this is the biz.
So trippy as well. Oh, that is pretty good. Oh.
Here we go. I'll turn him off. I don't know how long that goes on for, but that was Monkey.
Fair enough.
Absolutely loved it. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a better TV series than Monkey Magic.
Wow.
Last one I'm going to go through because I think we're coming up to the hour. She was a boy. Yeah, Dave, she was. Trippy Tarka was supposed to be a boy. But didn't he used to have a Wii on Buddha's hand? He did have a Wii on Buddha's hand, but he did turn his back, so it was all right. So I've got a load of my Star Wars stuff.
Ooh.
So I've got tons and tons of this. So I didn't want to bore everyone. But I've got some of the kind of bigger bits and some of my original bits. But my favourite Star Wars figure was this one. So cool, Boba Fett.
Oh, right.
I think originally they were planning to have the rocket be fired out, but they couldn't do it because it was a choke hazard for children.
Yeah, well, aren't there some prototypes about that are worth an insane amount?
I think they say there are, but there's also a lot of fakes as well. And of course, when you got this, you were just like, it's got to come out. Surely it's got to come out. But he was just absolutely the coolest character in the original Star Wars because I think he barely says anything. If
he was just mysterious, yeah.
Anything at all.
Yeah.
Just a load of questions around him. So he was just cool.
And you get like the scene in Jabba's palace where there's the nod, and it's a bit like if you have motorcyclists at traffic lights, they will nod at each other, but it's so slight and unobvious. If you make it obvious when you nod, you're not cool. If you all go like that, but it's just a little kind of the only other motorcyclists will pick up, and it's a similar sort of thing. He doesn't say anything, he hardly does anything, but he's the coolest character in Star Wars. I've got a couple of other bits from the original Star Wars. So I've got a Rancor here, which is like a huge figure.
Yeah.
And again, not exactly much to it, just a bit of a spring-loaded. I think on the back you could do that. But I was saying in Derek's side, the original Death Star when that came out, the cardboard one, and that had the trash compactor, and that got sold when I was about 13. I think I've still got the top plastic laser turret, and I've got one of the clips, and I've got the instructions, but that's all I got. Originally, this was produced, all these figures were produced by Palitoy in the UK. And then later on, Kenner, who I think had the license, that you used to get the cards with Kenner on, but originally it was Palitoy. I have got a Palitoy, a box Palitoy one here somewhere. See if I can find it. This is one of my original. Well, it's my original X-Wing, so all the stickers are coming off.
Yeah.
And it's terribly beat up.
They're the ones that had the damage on.
No, there were ones that had the damage on, and a lot of the time you'll only see the ones with the damage on. But this was an original one before they did the one with the damage on. So
the wings pop out open.
Yeah. So the only features it's got are this. Okay, there's that. There's this. It does that. You press R2's head.
That's it.
So that's still
okay.
And then this is battle mode, I think. And then you do that, which is not battle mode. So I'll have to stick all these like decals back on
Did you do the classic of us children of the 80s and run around the living room with that making the noise?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, right.
Shooting my sister. Yeah.
But I'll just see if I can dig out. I had another one that was boxed, so let me just see if I can find that. Hang on.
Wow. He's got a lot of stuff.
He has indeed, yep. He's a big hoarder. Yeah, it's very interesting, all this 80s and stuff. I vaguely remember playing and collecting quite a lot of the stuff in mid to late 90s, because obviously
here it is.
Most of his stuff was kind of still around and sort of like evolved from what it was.
Got more records here.
Happy Mondays.
So, more that's early Happy Mondays, 1988, I think.
Yeah.
So before they were big, that's another Happy Mondays. But yeah, I'll make this the last item. So this is a snow speeder. So from Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, that sound effects and the lights, was it? That one?
Yeah, it had a hook on the back. You did special like laser effects here. It's like a plastic thing. And yeah, again, this is Palitoy rather than Kenner.
Mm-hmm.
So quite an early figure. But these were amazing when they came out. I had tons and tons of Star Wars figures. Yeah. And it's the kind of thing that when I got to about kind of like 12, 13, they were just being given away. I remember people at my school were just basically going, I'm not in Star Wars anymore, and giving them away. I sold mine for £1 each, and some of the bigger figures for about £4 or £5. And I think I got a couple of £100 when I was about 12 and thought, oh, brilliant, I've got loads of money. I really wish I've still got lots left. I picked up a few bits as well. But I wish I'd kept my Star Wars, because that is the one thing I absolutely loved. Original stuff. You know, I do see sort of like the re-release stuff now, but it's only the original stuff I'm into. Absolutely love it. I'm not worried about boxed. I know people like them on card and all that stuff. To me, if I see something, it's got to be played with. And it's got to have the fun.
I got all of my Star Wars stuff secondhand off friends who were, as you said, wanting money, and I just picked it all up cheap and then sold it all off in the 90s, and all of mine went, but I never had any of it new, my Star Wars stuff.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And the good things to have, I remember at the time, the Death Star was really good. The Millennium Falcon was like the thing to have originally, and that had a weird gun sound, which is just basically a little motor hitting a bit of plastic. You know, it's like had the dish at the top, which was fantastic. The cockpit.
The one I loved was the Walker with the button, so his legs with the chicken walker.
Yeah, the ATST. Yeah, and the larger version of that, which was the AT-AT, which I think for Star Wars, the thing to have was either the Death Star or the Millennium Falcon. When you got to Empire Strikes Back, it was the AT-AT. You know, it was absolutely amazing. And even in like Return of the Jedi, you had the little speeder bikes, and they were really good too.
Yes, I had one of those. Yeah, speeder.
Wow. Stuff.
And the speeder bike, you could press a little thing at the back, and it would blow off, and the stormtrooper would go flying, and all the bits would go everywhere.
Right, I'm gonna end there. So Queenie's mentioned about the Mock Turtles. I remember the Mock Turtles. Can you dig it?
I had that on single.
Yeah, Ride. I loved Ride. Chelsea Girl, Drive Blind. I went to see them at up in London when they sort of reformed, and their new albums. They've done 2 albums recently, which are absolutely fantastic. James, I saw at the Marquee just before they got big.
I saw James on the Gold Mother tour '91.
Yeah, I saw him just after they released Strip Mine, and got that autographed. Got that when I went to see him at the Marquee. But yeah, I'm going to end up there. Don't forget, guys, it's all. If you've enjoyed this going down memory lane, do go to the Just Giving page. I'm going to share that now, if I can work out how to do it. So let's share the screen. So you should be seeing it now, hopefully.
Yep, we got it.
I'll make it full. Nick, I don't know if you just want to sort of say where we are and what's on for the rest of the day. I know we've got a few more things going on. it's absolutely amazing that target has gone past 5,000. I do know we got Peter Ray, who is on at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
I think before Peter, the ladies are going to do a bit of a little coffee morning thing. I think that is the plan. Andrew was talking about that. I'm not sure on the details. And then Pete, 1 p.m. I've got you down for, Pete.
Yeah, I've got a gaming stream. I'm playing a game set in the early 80s. So do check out about 1 o'clock.
Yeah. And then this evening, Zahir. I'm not sure if I've got the full list here, but we've got Zahir at 7, and then our regular quiz is going to be at 8. That's on the Let's Get Quizzical. But yeah, if you haven't donated and you can afford to put a couple of pounds into the pot, that would be fantastic. We've been blown away by the response of this, and as you can see there, the amount that's been raised is far beyond what we ever could have imagined. And it's all down to the viewers. It's all down to the people that have got involved. So we thank everyone for taking part.
Thanks, Nick. All the links on to the Just Giving are in the descriptions to any video you've watched on this. So you can easily go down and get it there. But thanks for watching, guys. It's been great having you along, showing you all my
time to pop on. Yep.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Nick. And take care. And I'll see you. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Just quickly, Dave Rowland put together a video. It was on the schedule for about now, but he was trying to put a different version out. He's doing like a competition and a giveaway. So we'll try and get that sorted. But make sure if you can go onto our Facebook page, you should be able to find a link for Dave's video. He's put a pre-recorded one together. So if you can check that out, please do.
Brilliant. I look forward to seeing that. Okay, guys, well, take care. And contribute if you can. And I'll see you soon. See you guys.
Yeah, take care, guys.